So I realized today when you were looking at videos that I forgot to show you how to do the nostrils. And since I am doing this other video, I also just want to show you, if I did not mention this before in one of the videos, how to kind of get your mask to be finished. So you're going to notice that I have these lines here from the clay being stretched out. To get rid of these lines, I do not want to add water to this clay. You should have, I just finished taking these paper towels off of the clay mask. So my mask, you'll notice, is still very wet and very pliable. So I can just take my finger, and I'm just using the pad of my finger to just kind of brush, if you will, just very lightly, very gently, kind of like petting the clay. And if I just pet the clay, you're going to see how that's going to make it nice and smooth. If you have a lot of areas where there are things like this happening, it makes it harder to paint. The paint, when you apply paint, sometimes it's harder to cover, whereas if you have a nice smooth surface, you can have a smooth surface as well. It just makes it easier. The paint just kind of glides on. I'm also going to take my finger and I can also round this out, so I can kind of soften this edge just to make it not so sharp underneath. And the other thing that I did not mention in my other videos was adding texture, and I just realized that I did not do that as I'm talking right here. Let's do the nose first, because that's originally why I started this particular video. I wanted to show you how to do the nose and nostrils. So you can leave your nose like this, but if you want to show nostrils flaring, and a lot of students have fun with this and they're like, ew, but this is fun. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil, and basically you're going to place your pencil up inside the nose, and then you can just kind of go around and around and around, and that's going to create the nostril. You do want to be careful though, because you'll notice that I just did that. I just kind of poked through. So we want to be careful we don't like make a hole on the other side. I can easily fix that by using my fingers and blending it. So there's my little nostril. I can do the same thing here, and maybe going, instead of going, I kind of went out, instead of going out, maybe go up more towards this way. And then, in fact, I probably will, there we go. So now you can see kind of the flare of the nostril. So that's one way that you can create, that's how you can do the nostril. As far as, so I'm just going to kind of continue to smooth. If you have some textures, you could decide whether you want, depending on the type of face that you're trying to make, if I wanted to add some freckles. Maybe my guy has freckles on his face, or if you're doing some type of like a creature, you can also use clay tools to kind of press in. So I'll just use the pencil as an example, but you have clay tools that have different types of the tops to them. So I could come in and I could kind of create, there are some different ways that I can create texture. Not really what I wanted to do here. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to, I got to be careful because I might make holes here, and I don't want to have trapped air, and I might have just trapped air in there. Hopefully not. We'll see. Hopefully my mask won't break. So that's how you do nostrils. Again, smoothing, just a dry finger, and you're just kind of like petting the clay, making sure that your edges are kind of nice and smooth. Sometimes if you don't smooth these edges, they actually become sharp. And I've cut myself on clay before because it becomes so sharp. I've seen students get cut before. So you might just want to take your fingers, and you might just want to kind of smooth these edges out so that you don't end up with those really sharp edges where you might get hurt when you're handling the clay once it's been fired. Okay? So I still have work to do on this, but I'm going to wrap it back up. But I just, again, wanted to show you how to do the nostrils and a few other techniques. So there you go.